everything. Here we go.
Yay.
So, how do I switch slides? Okay. So, I'm gonna mute my notifications so it doesn't beep at me. So, Stone Soup conducted 2 community surveys, one in October and one in December of 2021. And I just wanted to explain a bit about why we're doing this community surveying project. This is kind of the first time that Stone Soup has taken on data collection in any serious sort of way. So part of why we're doing this is to just kind of improve our data collection skills as an organization, which is a really important thing for us because for grant writing purposes, we really need to understand the demographics of who receives our meals, who joins us on Saturdays, who volunteers with us. It's just good to know demographics so that we can apply for grants and have that information. And also we're thinking about moving into a new space and expanding our programming. And we really want to get feedback from folks who already use our services and are part of our community and see which directions we can grow in and where we should expand and what's going well and what needs improvement. And also surveying the community also helps build relationships and connections and gets people involved and talking to each other. So that was also a part of why we were doing the community surveying project. And we had a lot of ideas about what to expect from the data, but we have, an inkling about who our guests are, and but we didn't have any actual tangible data to back that up. So this is a really great thing for us to do. So our methods, we did 2 surveys. The first survey had 85 respondents. The second survey had 113 respondents, which is great. We used a bunch of different data collection methods. We sent out a link with the newsletter. We posted it on social media. We also had paper surveys that we distributed at curbside pickup. And we also put paper surveys into in with the delivery bags and with a pre-stamped return envelope. So everyone was able to fill out a paper survey and return it to us if they were receiving delivery too. So that was really awesome. And we got a bunch of responses. I think we got almost 24 delivery surveys sent back to us in the mail, which is really cool. We also created a working group, which kind of had members flexing in and out of it, and no consistent sort of solid group of people, but we were like we're doing right now. We were very transparent and open with our survey question writing and our distribution of the surveys and the whole process of this. We've been very transparent and open and collaborative, and we are not the experts. And so it's nice to kind of get expertise from our community. We've got a lot of really smart people, and it's great to kind of work together and figure out what we're going to ask and how we want to ask the questions and all of that. So that was really exciting. And I'd say about 6 people, give or take, were a part of our survey creation process. And the results are in. So let's see. So these are the things from the first survey that people said they really like about the meals at Stone Soup Café. This was like a multiple choice question, and people could select what their favorite things about the meals were. So the top 4 things: the healthiness of the food, the tastiness of the food, the option for pay what you can, and the variety of the menus every week. Those were the most enjoyable parts of our meal. And people also added all of these other anecdotes about what they like about our meal program. People really like the home delivery option, especially for those with medical conditions. People love the heart and soul and love that is put into all of the savory meals. If the meals feed the spiritual and the physical. The staff is very friendly. Staff and volunteers are really friendly and non-judgmental. And a lot of people can't actually cook for themselves. So for whatever reason. So this is a great way for them to get home cooked food that it's cooked by people in their community. And one person really appreciated the catering option too. So it was great to see all the different things that people liked. I pulled out 2 quotes that were really special that I'd like to share. So this one says, "This food feeds my spirit as well as my body. I have a hard time leaving the house, especially in the dark months. These meals are something to look forward to and encourage me to get going and get out. This food feels like a hug." And that was like a really sweet quote. And this person said, "I was in a very bad spot financially, physically, and emotionally, and your meals were a lifesaver. They are so delicious and delivered by such wonderful people. This past year would have been so miserable without your delivery to look forward to on Saturdays." From the first survey, we also asked folks what they suggested, and we got a lot of ideas. It was just like an open-ended question. So 7 people suggested that we play more music. People are really anxious. I know a lot of people have talked to me about this. They want a place to actually sit and share the meal together. People are requesting the council circle that we used to do. Some folks want more stuff for kids and families. People are interested in having more informational flyers in the bag, both inspirational and informational, which I thought was interesting. Dancing, group hikes and walks, art opportunities, meditation class. And then there were some food specific ideas too. 4 people requested simpler, less spicy food options, like a sandwich, or options for kids, or some more simple meals. 3 people requested cooking classes, and then 1 person wanted daily meals and low cost weekday meal kits. So some really good ideas there from our community. And then we asked folks what they're interested in learning more about. And I was really excited to see that 49% of the people that responded to this question, 35 people that responded, want to learn more about creative arts programs. And that's really exciting. I know we have some awesome artists in our world. So I'm really excited to offer more creative arts programming, hopefully in the future. And also alternative health and medicine was of interest to a lot of people. So that is really cool. Also, people want to learn more about affordable housing and mental health counseling. I know those are big issues in Franklin County. People are interested in learning more about community college and continuing education, the fuel assistance programs, senior centers, and you can see the rest of them there. So one of our questions, part of like the relationship building part of our survey, was kind of an open-ended question about asking people to kind of self-identify themselves. So a lot of surveys ask the traditional demographic questions about age and race and gender and all that. And we did that as well, but we also wanted to give space for folks to like identify however they identify, so that they don't feel like boxed into certain data points. And so we got some really incredible responses from people. This is just a sample. We got a bunch, and some of them just make me laugh and smile, and others are really sad and upsetting. And it's just interesting to see the variety of who our community is. I'll just give you a minute to kind of look through these. And I have, I made a word cloud as well of like some of the terms that came up a lot. So, and it's also nice, like a lot of these I can relate to as well. And so it's like, oh, there's other people in the community that are like me, or that I can relate to. And that's really nice to see. And I can picture some of these people too. The speckled, cynical New Englander guy. I know him. So here's a word cloud that I made. So the more often a word appeared in people's self-identifications, the larger the word is. And so this is just all of the words that people have in our community used to describe themselves. And they're across the board. I mean, really all sorts of positive, negative things. But the biggest ones: caring, disabled, old, animal lover, queer, woman, white, New Englander, student, friend, and I have a second page with even more words: mother, community oriented, dog lover, churchgoer, farmer, and artists, lots of artists, and a lot of cat lovers too. So we were also asking folks questions about to understand kind of the social environment of Greenfield or Franklin County. We were asking if people have any access issues to receiving public assistance or public services. So this is kind of just like an overview of the responses that we got to that question. A lot of people don't actually experience issues accessing public services, which is awesome. And a lot of people that answered our survey don't need these programs either, which is an interesting data point. And then aside from that, a lot of people experience too much paperwork or lack of transportation. And you can see the rest there. And we asked people what they think the key issues facing Franklin County are, and high cost of housing was number one. Not enough living wage jobs, addiction and substance use disorder, racism and discrimination, and social isolation. So those are the top 5 answers that people gave. We asked an open-ended question. It was a fill in the blank kind of question. So I think life would be better in Franklin County if, and again, this is just 4 of the many, many, many answers that we got. And I'm curious to know at the end of the presentation what you guys think we can do with all of this really cool and personable and interesting data, because there's a lot of really great information here and people spend a lot of time thinking about it. So I think it's nice to share these a few examples, and also there's more, and what should we do with it? It's just a question that I have. We asked people how much in a typical week are they able to pay for their meal. We're a pay what you can cafe, and we don't monitor how much people are donating for their meals. So we kind of have an idea of what people are able to pay, but we've never asked, and we're kind of curious about what people's ability to pay is. So you can see the breakdown here, the pie chart. It's pretty evenly split across the board. So it seems like our pay what you can model is really serving its purpose. We really, are feeding people across the spectrum of ability to pay. So that was a pretty cool thing to see, and I think it really speaks highly of our pay what you can model. And it shows that we're not a soup kitchen either. It's not just a place where people who can't afford food come. It's like a place for everyone, even the folks who can afford to pay. But some folks can only pay $5 and others can pay $10 or more. So it's just a really broad kind of diversity of ability to pay. People mostly live in Greenfield. The people that attend our meal mostly live in Greenfield. and mostly do curbside pickup. Most of our folks are housed, at least the people surveyed. But 16% of our community has unstable housing, either living in a shelter or on the streets or couch surfing. We asked the traditional demographic questions about race and gender and age. So you can see the kind of visual breakdowns of that here. I didn't include the percentages, but I will go back and put those in to the final presentation later. And a lot of this is not surprising per se. It's kind of, you know, if you go to a meal on a Saturday, it makes sense. These data points make sense. But it's also just good to have this tangible data to refer to. So I'll just finish this presentation by opening it up to a conversation, because we still are thinking about asking more questions of our community and having more conversations. And I'm curious, after you've seen this data, what else are you interested in learning about from our community members, or what questions should we still ask? And also, I want to know what you think we should do with this data. I personally think that we could make an awesome art project using some of the data, or we could use it as like for advocacy purposes, or you know, there's some options. So I'm curious what you guys are thinking about how to best use this data, and what comes next. Should we do another survey? Should we do some community conversations? Yeah, so I'll stop my share. Thank you for going on that journey with